What if I told you that every battle you have ever lost, against anxiety, procrastination, or rage, was a battle against a phantom, an enemy that doesn't actually exist? For years you have been taught a lie so pervasive it has become common wisdom. The lie is this, that your mind is your enemy, that the chaos in your head is a flaw, a bug in your system, that you must fight, suppress, or drug into submission. This is the slave's mindset, and it is the reason most men live and die as puppets of their own emotions. In this session, we are going to deconstruct this lie, and I will give you the 5-minute Stoic Reset. This is not philosophy. It is a mental operating system, an executable code used by the 1% of men who do not just endure chaos. They command it. Before we begin, I want you to do something. Go to the comments and write one word that describes your current relationship with your mind. Is it a battle? A prison? A storm? Be honest. Your journey to sovereignty starts now. Let's be clear. The world is engineered for your mental failure. Your phone is a slot machine for dopamine. The news cycle is an outrage engine. Your social feed is a finely tuned comparison machine designed to make you feel inadequate. This environment creates a constant state of brain noise, a low-grade hum of anxiety, distraction, and discontent. It is the background radiation of modern life, and we are told the solution is to fight back, to think positive thoughts, to meditate our monkey mind into silence, to wage a war on our own internal experience. This is like trying to hold back the ocean with a bucket. It is an exhausting, unwinnable war because you have been misdiagnosed. The problem is not your mind. The problem is your relationship with it. You have been trained to see a powerful tool as an enemy. You see a wild horse, and instead of learning to ride it, you try to kill it. This ends today. We are not here to fight. We are here to command. The illusion of the inner enemy. The first principle you must internalize is this. The voice in your head is not you. The thoughts, the emotions, the impulses. They are not your identity. They are events. They are information. They are suggestions from an ancient survival machine that has not been updated for the modern world. When you feel a surge of anger, that is not you being angry. It is your brain's threat detection system firing off a signal. When you feel anxiety, it is not you being weak. It is your brain's future planning system running a threat simulation. The moment you identify with these events, you lose. You become the emotion. You become the thought. The man who says, "I am angry," has already surrendered his power. The man who thinks, "A feeling of anger is present," retains his position as the commander. He is the observer, the one who decides what to do with the signal. This separation is the first crucial step toward building an unbreakable mind. It is the difference between being the storm and being the eye of the storm. Your mind is not you, it is a tool. Imagine you were given the most powerful computer in the world. It can run trillions of calculations per second. It can simulate any reality, but it came with no instruction manual. It just runs programs at random. It flashes pop-ups, runs malware, and blares notifications constantly. Would you blame the computer? Would you call the machine your enemy? No. You would realize it is an incredibly powerful tool that you simply do not know how to operate. This is your mind. It is a biological supercomputer. Its chaotic nature is just its default state, its screensaver mode. It is not malicious. It is simply untamed. The project of a strong man's life is not to smash this computer. It is to learn the command line interface, to write his own code, to decide which programs run and when. Most men spend their lives as frustrated users, clicking on pop-ups and reacting to error messages. The Stoic, the 1% man, he is the system administrator. He has root access. He understands that the hardware is not the problem. The problem is the lack of a conscious, deliberate operator. The origin of brain noise. Your survival instinct overloaded. So where does all this noise come from? It comes from a simple evolutionary truth. A worried ancestor was a living ancestor. Your brain is not designed for your happiness. It is designed for your survival. It is programmed to scan the horizon for threats, to replay past mistakes, to avoid repeating them, and to simulate future dangers. In the ancestral savannah, this was a feature, not a bug. It kept you from being eaten by a tiger. But in 2024, this same system is now overloaded. The tiger is now an email from your boss, a passive-aggressive comment on social media, or a news headline about a crisis thousands of miles away. Your brain cannot tell the difference. A perceived social threat triggers the same cortisol and adrenaline response as a physical threat. This is the source of the chaos. It is your elite, hypervigilant survival instinct, working perfectly in a world it was not designed for. It is not your enemy. It is a loyal but tragically outdated bodyguard, and your job is to give it new orders. The tyranny of impressions. The Stoics had a word for all this mental chatter, these automatic thoughts and feelings. They called them impressions. An impression is the raw, unprocessed data that hits your mind. A car cuts you off in traffic. That is an event. The immediate flash of rage, the thought, that guy is a disrespectful jerk. That is the impression. Here is the secret that 99% of people will never understand. You do not control the event. You will always be cut off in traffic. But you have a choice about the impression. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. The event itself is neutral. It has no inherent meaning. Your suffering, your anger, your anxiety, it is not caused by the event. It is caused by the meaning you assign to it, the story you tell yourself about it. The chaotic mind is a mind that automatically and uncritically accepts every impression as truth. The commanded mind is one that stops every impression at the gate and asks for its papers. It inspects the story before allowing it to become a feeling. The dichotomy of control, the master key to a quiet mind. If you remember nothing else from this session, burn this into your brain. Some things are within our control and some things are not. Within our control are our judgments, our intentions, our actions. Outside of our control is, well, almost everything else. The weather, the economy, what other people think of you, whether you get that promotion. The entirety of human misery can be traced to a single, fundamental error, trying to control what we cannot, while neglecting what we can. The man who is enraged by traffic is trying to control the behaviour of other drivers, a futile, soul-crushing effort. The man who is crippled by anxiety about the future is trying to control the outcome of events that have not happened. He is fighting a ghost. True power, true mental tranquility, is found in relentlessly, ruthlessly focusing 100% of your energy on your own choices. It is the single most powerful question you can ask yourself in any moment of chaos. Is this something I control or something I do not? The architecture of inner freedom. Answering that one question, is this in my control, is like drawing a line in the sand. On one side is the vast, chaotic, unpredictable world. On the other side is the small, sacred territory of your own will, your inner citadel. The Stoics understood that freedom is not about changing the world to suit you. That is the path of the tyrant and the child. True freedom is an internal state. It is the ability to remain calm, rational, and virtuous regardless of external conditions. When you cease to waste energy on things outside your control, an incredible thing happens. All of that energy, all of that focus, all of that power becomes available to you. You can then direct it toward what you can control, your character, your discipline, your response. This is not passive resignation. It is the ultimate strategic allocation of resources. You stop fighting 1,000 battles on 1,000 fronts, and you concentrate all your forces on the one battle that matters, the battle for your own soul. This is the architecture of an unbreakable mind. The modern gladiator's arena. Let's make this practical. Imagine your modern arena is a toxic workplace. Your boss is unpredictable. Your colleagues are political. There is constant uncertainty. The uncontrolled mind obsesses over what it cannot change. My boss is unfair. This company culture is terrible. I might get laid off. This is mental poison. It generates anxiety and resentment, but produces zero results. Now let's apply the Stoic operating system. The Stoic man scans the situation and immediately sorts it into two columns. In the uncontrolled column, his boss's personality, his colleagues' actions, the company's financial future. He wastes 0 seconds of emotional energy on these things. In the controlled column, the quality of his own work, his professionalism, his choice to update his resume, his networking efforts, his decision to not engage in gossip, his mindset when he walks in the door. He focuses 100% of his effort here. He becomes an island of excellence and calm in a sea of chaos. Who do you think is more powerful? The man who complains about the storm, or the man who builds a better ship? Myth-busting, control versus suppression. A common and dangerous misconception is that Stoicism is about suppressing emotions, that the Stoic man is a robot devoid of feeling. This is a profound misunderstanding. It is the philosophy of the weak trying to interpret the strong. Suppression is trying to force a beach ball underwater. It takes immense energy, and eventually the ball will shoot up with even more force. This is not control. It is a pressure cooker. Stoic control is not about feeling nothing. It is about not being a slave to what you feel. You acknowledge the feeling. You feel the flash of anger. You notice the wave of anxiety, but you do not let it dictate your actions. You see it. You understand where it comes from, that outdated survival instinct, and you choose your response based on reason and virtue, not on the chemical storm of the moment. It is the difference between a child who tantrums when he feels frustration and the man who feels frustration, takes a breath, and formulates a plan. The feeling is the same. The response is what defines the man. The 5-minute reset. Minute 1. The pause and acknowledgement. Now we install the code. The moment you feel it, the surge of anger, the knot of anxiety, the fog of overwhelm, this is the trigger. Your 5-minute reset begins. For the first 60 seconds, your only job is to do nothing. Just pause. Create a space. The entire modern world is designed to eliminate this space between stimulus and response. Your goal is to reclaim it. In this space, you simply acknowledge what is happening without judgment. Say it to yourself silently. A thought of worry has appeared. A feeling of irritation is present. Use this detached clinical language. Do not say, I am worried. You are not the worry. You are the one observing the worry. Imagine you are a scientist, and this thought is a strange new bacteria under the microscope. Your job is not to hate it or fear it. Your job is to simply observe it. Ah, interesting. There it is again. This simple act of non-judgmental observation diffuses 90% of the thought's power. You are no longer wrestling with it. You are watching it. The power of the cognitive pause. This first minute is the most critical. This pause is where your freedom lives. Without it, you are an automaton. The button gets pushed, you react. The insult comes, the anger fires. The stressful thought appears, the anxiety spirals. You are a puppet on a string. By intentionally creating a 60-second buffer, you cut those strings. You are intervening in the automatic, unconscious process. You are telling your ancient survival brain, I have received your message. Thank you. The commander is now in charge. This is not a struggle, it is an assertion of authority. It is the moment you step back from the game and become the player, instead of the piece on the board. This cognitive pause is a muscle. The first few times you do it, it will feel forced. The impulse to react will be strong. But with every repetition, the muscle gets stronger, the space gets wider. Your ability to operate from a place of calm, deliberate choice becomes your new default. It is the foundational skill of a sovereign mind. The reset. Minutes 2 and 3. The interrogation. Now that you have created space, you move from observation to interrogation. You take the thought you have isolated and you put it on trial. You ask it two simple, powerful questions. First, is this true? Be ruthless. Is it objectively 100% true? The thought says, I am going to fail this presentation and everyone will think I'm an idiot. Is that true? Can you know the future? Can you read the minds of everyone in the room? Or is it a catastrophic story your survival brain is telling you? 99% of your anxious thoughts will not survive this first question. They are not facts. They are hypotheses. They are fictions. The second question is from the view from above. Imagine you are floating above the situation, looking down. From a cosmic perspective, how much does this moment truly matter? In the grand scheme of your entire life, in the history of the world, what is the real significance of this single event? This is not to diminish your life, but to give it perspective. It shrinks the problem down to its true size, stripping it of its false, ego-driven importance. Applying the interrogation. A modern example. Let's use a common example. You post something online and you get a negative comment. The stimulus. The immediate impression is a jolt of anger or shame. The thought is, this person is attacking me. My reputation is damaged. Now, begin the reset. Minute 1, pause, observe. A feeling of defensiveness is present. A thought about being attacked has appeared. Minutes 2 and 3, interrogate. First, is this true? Is a stranger's opinion on the internet a genuine attack? Is your reputation, built over years, truly damaged by 13 words from an anonymous account? The answer is almost certainly no. Second, the view from above. Zoom out. In the context of your entire week, your goals, your relationships with people who actually matter, what is the real weight of this comment? It is a single drop of ink in an ocean. It is nothing. By interrogating the thought, you have not suppressed your initial feeling. You have analysed the data and concluded that the initial threat assessment from your survival brain was a false alarm. You have used reason to regulate emotion. The reset. Minute 4. Applying the dichotomy of control. You have observed the thought, you have interrogated it, and found it to be either false or insignificant. Now you deliver the decisive blow. You ask the ultimate Stoic question, is this within my control? The negative comment from the stranger, not in your control. Their opinion, their keyboard, their decision to type, all completely outside your sphere of influence. To be angry about it is to be angry at the rain. It is a waste of your life force. So what is in your control? Your response. You can choose to ignore it. You can choose to delete it. You can choose to respond politely or to block them. You can choose to learn from it if there is a kernel of truth. You can choose to see it as an opportunity to practice your indifference to meaningless opinions. This is the moment you reclaim 100% of your power. You shift your entire focus from the external event, which you cannot change, to your internal choice, which is the only thing you can ever truly own. This single question dissolves anxiety and anger, because those emotions are almost always rooted in a desire to control the uncontrollable. Reclaiming your agency. This shift is the difference between a victim and a creator. The victim mindset is defined by its focus on the external. He made me angry. This situation is making me anxious. I can't believe this happened to me. This language outsources all power and responsibility. It makes you a leaf in the wind, helplessly reacting to the world around you. The Stoic, by relentlessly applying the dichotomy of control, reclaims his agency. He never says, he made me angry. He says, he acted in a certain way and I'm choosing not to assent to the impression of anger. He takes ownership of his internal world. This does not mean you don't face hardship. It means you understand that hardship is the raw material and your response is the art. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is The way. It is the fire in which your character is forged. Each time you apply this filter, you are strengthening your identity as an agent, a cause rather than just an effect. You are the one who chooses. The reset. Minute 5. The directive and virtuous action. The reset does not end with analysis. It ends with action. This is what separates Stoicism from passive meditation. In the final minute you ask, what is the virtuous action here? The Stoics believed in 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, making the right choice; justice, treating others fairly; courage, facing difficulty; and temperance, moderation and self-control. Based on your analysis, what is the most virtuous path forward? In the case of the negative comment, the courageous action might be to ignore it, resisting the ego's pull to fight. The wise action might be to check if there's any validity to the criticism. The just action is to not retaliate with insults. The temperate action is to move on with your day without letting it consume you. You give yourself a clear, simple, actionable command. My directive is to close this window and focus on my work. My directive is to take 3 deep breaths and respond to this email professionally. My directive is to go for a walk and clear my head. This final step transforms you from a thinker into a doer. It closes the loop. It solidifies your control. You did not just survive the emotional storm. You used it as a catalyst for a virtuous act. From thought to action, the cement of character. Analysis without action is just intellectual entertainment. It's a parlor game. Your character is not defined by what you think or what you believe. It is defined by what you do, especially what you do under pressure. Each time you complete the 5-minute reset and execute a virtuous directive, you are casting a vote for the man you want to be. You are laying a brick in the wall of your inner citadel. You are literally rewiring your brain. You are creating new neural pathways. The old path was stimulus, automatic emotional reaction. The new path is stimulus, pause, interrogate, choose, act. The more you walk this new path, the wider and easier it becomes. Eventually, it becomes your new default. This is how you build real, unshakable self-discipline. It is not about willpower in the face of temptation. It is about having a superior operating system that makes the right choice the most logical choice. Your actions cement your philosophy. Without them, you are just a man with a library of unread books. Beyond the reset, building a mental fortress. The 5-minute reset is your emergency response system. It is the tactical tool you use when chaos strikes. But the larger strategic goal is to build a mind that requires the reset less and less often. You do this by turning these principles into a daily practice. You do not just train for the battle. You live a life that makes you battle ready. This means consciously practicing the dichotomy of control throughout your day. When you are stuck in traffic, you practice it. When a meeting is cancelled at the last minute, you practice it. When you read the news, you practice it. You are constantly filtering reality through this lens. What is mine and what is not mine? You are training your mind to stop wasting energy. You are building a fortress, brick by brick, a place of inner quiet and strength that does not depend on the world outside being peaceful or predictable. The world will always be chaotic. That is a guarantee. Your fortress ensures that the chaos of the world stays on the outside of the walls. Premeditatio malorum, the art of negative visualization. One of the most powerful and misunderstood Stoic practices for building this fortress is what is called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This is not pessimistic worrying, it is strategic planning. Each morning, you take a few moments to visualize things going wrong during the day. Your big project might fail, you might get into an argument, you might lose your wallet. You imagine these things not to create anxiety, but to rehearse your response. You think to yourself, if this happens, how will I apply the principles? I will remember what is in my control. I will choose to act with courage and reason. By doing this, you strip these events of their power to shock you. When something inevitably does go wrong, your mind says, "Ah, yes, I have already drilled for this scenario." You are prepared. You have a plan. Compare this to the man who practices blind, positive thinking. He is shattered by the first setback because he has not prepared for reality. The Stoic prepares for winter, and so he is never surprised by the cold. The mindset of the 1%. Let's be very clear about what this creates. This is not about achieving a life with no problems. That is a child's fantasy. Problems are a given. Difficulty is guaranteed. The difference, the thing that elevates the 1% of men who are truly sovereign, is the system they use to process that difficulty. While the 99% are drowning in their emotional reactions to problems, the 1% man is calmly executing his operating system. He is pausing, interrogating, and acting. He sees problems not as personal failings or cosmic injustices, but as opportunities. Opportunities to practice virtue, opportunities to strengthen his character, opportunities to prove his resilience. He has a superior mindset because he has a superior process. This is the ultimate source of his confidence. It is not based on his looks, his money, or his status. It is based on the unshakable knowledge that he has a toolset capable of handling whatever reality throws at him. Your mind, your ally. We started with the idea of the mind as an enemy, a wild, chaotic force to be battled. Let's end by replacing that image through this practice, through the reset, through the daily training, through the premeditation of adversity. You transform your relationship with your mind. It is no longer an untamed horse you are trying to break. It becomes a trained warhorse, loyal and powerful. It still has immense energy. It still alerts you to danger, but it now responds to your command. It serves your purpose. The noise doesn't vanish entirely, but now you understand its language. Anxiety is no longer a command to panic. It is a suggestion to prepare. Anger is no longer a command to attack. It is a signal that one of your values may have been crossed, requiring a rational assessment. Your mind becomes your most trusted advisor, your most powerful ally in the project of living a good life. You have achieved what few men ever will. You have made peace with the power inside your own skull, not by surrendering, but by taking your rightful place on the throne. The war inside your head ends today, not with a victory, but with a treaty, a recognition of sovereignty. You are not the conqueror of your mind, you are its rightful king. The noise, the chaos, the struggle, it was all a symptom of an empty throne. Your power lies not in silencing your mind, but in understanding its language and giving it clear, unwavering commands based on what you can control. This is the ultimate freedom. Walk away from this video with the quiet confidence of a man who knows that no external chaos can ever breach his inner citadel. You now have the key. Your only remaining task is to use it. Thank you for investing your time, your most valuable asset, in this crucial knowledge. If this resonated with you on a deep level, subscribe and join the few who are dedicated to mastering their inner world. Click the bell so you do not miss the next transmission. Now go back to the comments. I want you to make a commitment. What is the one virtuous action you will take today using this framework to command your mind? Declare it. I will read every single one.